Well, the thing that happens is that before we come into embodiment, we make this plan for our lives. And then, of course, when we do come into the density of this, the material realm and the four lower bodies, we forget it. Most people do not have a conscious memory of it. And so throughout our lives, we gradually rediscover parts of it. It's very, very rare that people see all of it at once. I think most of us, and I think even very evolved people like Jesus and the Buddha, they only discover it in increments, because it's like you have to take a certain step before you see what's next. And this is part of our growth, is that we dare to trust that if we do what we feel is right from within, follow our intuition, then we will be going in the right direction. But the difficulty, of course, can be if we are in a very dense situation, a very difficult situation, say we have a very difficult childhood, it becomes even harder to remember our divine plan. And then what is it going to take for us to awaken to it? And I think that we have to get away with this idea that we sometimes see in traditional religions, where there's this almighty God that's sitting up there looking down, like this controlling person where we are just marionettes and they're just pulling our strings and we have to do it. That's not the way it works. That's not the way our higher self is. The higher self, or the I Am Presence, doesn't really have any power over you when you're in embodiment. It's not like the I Am Presence can say, oh, he's forgetting his divine plan, he's going in the wrong direction, I'm going to precipitate this accident or this disease so that he can't go in that direction anymore. That's not how it works. But what can happen is that our consciousness can precipitate certain events in our lives. And for example, a physical disease can be something we precipitate because we are resisting something. We are resisting our divine plan. And that means that a pattern that's been there for several lifetimes can now be reinforced so that it breaks through as a physical disease or a physical accident or some kind of mishap in our lives, where it didn't necessarily have to happen that way. If we had tuned into our divine plan and followed it, then that particular physical event might not have happened. And so that's why you can look at events like that and say, is life trying to tell me something? Is there something here that I should be seeing? Is this a chance for me to pause, to step back and say, is my life going in the right direction? Should I be doing something different? So that's one possibility. Another possibility is that people can have various mishaps, various conditions, various physical or even psychological illnesses that they're not necessarily meant to have them cured, because it's part of their divine plan to show that you can have that condition, but you can still lead a positive life. Maybe you can transcend it so that it really doesn't cripple you, it doesn't affect you, you don't make yourself a victim of the condition, you live on anyway. Because that's part of what we're going through right now, is that humankind is beginning to awaken to the spiritual side of life, but we need a lot of people to demonstrate that no matter what material condition you have, you can still live a more spiritual life. And that's why some people do that by taking on a disease or various handicaps and still managing to live a more spiritual life.